Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 23. Whew. It's Thursday, so we've got Jim F0123 Art on with us, and yeah, let's get into it. How you doing, Jim?
Doing okay. How about you?
Oh, you know, another week.
Yeah.
Another set of stories, adventures.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
Getting spooky out there.
I'm terrified every day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's a scary time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. So, Halloween obviously is coming up.
Coming quick.
You do like trick or treating?
Oh,
you give out the candy and everything.
You know what? I have not had where I live trick or treaters in probably over 5 years.
Wow.
And I enjoy handing out the candy and seeing the costumes, and so it unfortunately bothers me that I don't get the opportunity to see that anymore, but you know, it is what it is.
So I was telling Paul that before obviously the pandemic and everything, we would give it out, and now we kind of just put a bowl out or whatever, but we have the ring, so I can still kind of peek.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is like the kids and the teenagers are generally chill.
Yeah.
Like they'll take one, maybe two pieces, right?
Yeah.
It's the fucking parents start rolling up, and they're like grabbing it shit by the handfuls.
I mean, the kids know they're going to hit a multitude of houses, and by the end of the night, they're going to have a bag full of candy. So why do you have to take more than your fair share at one individual home when you know you're going to get your fill when all is said and done?
Not even just your fill, like you're robbing from other people, first of all.
Right.
And second of all, it's going to fucking kill you anyway.
Yeah, well, good. Then they should.
I know, but it's just, and it's funny because, like, again, from my fortress of solitude, right? I got balls of steel because, if they start grabbing and I catch them,
Yeah.
I get on the intercom and I'm like, all right, piggies, that's enough.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that.
No,
grab one or two pieces.
Right. Yeah, move on to the next house, which is going to give you one or two pieces, and you're gonna get your candy fix. No one has ever gone trick or treating, gone home. This isn't friggin' Charlie Brown where you got a bag full of rocks. You are gonna get your fill of candy that's going to be satisfactory to you. So you don't have to steal from everybody.
Yeah, it's just interesting because, like, honestly, most of the kids in the neighborhood are solid. Stand up.
Good.
Like they'll take one or two.
Yeah.
And I've even had situations where like the parents are grabbing and the kid will just be like, "Stop."
Good. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. You love to see that.
Yeah.
So, It's coming up, so I'm interested to see this year kind of what we'll get. I do like seeing the Halloween costumes because it does kind of bring into relief what's popular right now. So we'll have to see what.
We'll have to see how many Jeffrey Dahmer costumes show up at the doorstep.
We're gonna have two or three with the fucking thick glasses and everything. I love candy.
Do you have any candy?
Oh, how you doing there today, bud? $100 is $100. I can't believe it's a Halloween costume. That is fucking insane to me.
I can't believe that Twitter had to announce to not post anything on there because of how popular of a Halloween costume it's going to be.
Yeah, but we covered. This is how it's so off the rails now, right? That. I mean, because there have been 20 other Jeffrey Dahmer programs, and he's never been a Halloween costume.
No, but now he's an idol because you had somebody portray him that people
here's the
wanted.
thing, is I thought about this. I'm not going to lie to you. This crossed my mind. I was like, I could do a series for the store of serial killers. That would be an interesting kind of case study.
Sure.
As an artist, that would be fun to do. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Even for me, who generally likes to explore the taboo, bit of a Pinhead in my day.
Ah, okay.
Such sights. Even that, I think, is in poor taste.
Sure.
You know, even
It is.
even like the older ones and stuff like Fish and Home. Like I was gonna do a set, right?
Yeah.
Of art prints, but then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I don't want to feed this machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it did. You know,
Yeah,
the thought came in.
Check this store next week. They'll be up.
Yeah, there'll be T-shirts. You know, I'll just grab their mug shots and
That's all.
fucking. I don't know. I just like part of me wants to do it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, I could understand the reservation of not doing it because you have a moral compass and, you know, part of you thinks it's wrong, but it's like, but then again,
I mean, if they're making Halloween costumes, right?
Exactly.
Let me know what you guys think. You know, for our listeners, what do you guys think about a series of serial killer portraits? Because
it'd be interesting to know.
I'm playing with the idea. So, have you seen any? You know, we'll move on from this. That's enough. You know, Jeffrey's got to go.
Right.
The worst, like not even the most interesting. Fucking
Right,
Jeff,
exactly.
Jeffy. Have you seen anything?
I have. So I saw it's a show on Netflix.
Okay.
Little older,
All right.
based off a comic called The End of the Fucking World.
What? Excuse me.
Yes. Sorry, it's the name of it.
Hey.
So I'm going. I'm not making that up. That is the name of it.
Your tongue. How dare you?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it got rave reviews. And it's something I've wanted to check out. I finally set aside the time to see it. Yeah, it's as good as the reviews claim it is.
Wow.
I highly recommend that if you set the time aside to watch this.
Wow. How long is it?
So it's 2 seasons.
Okay.
8 episodes per season at about 22 minutes per episode.
Oh, that's real tight.
Yeah, so you can get through it fast, and the show is so good that you're not going to just sit and watch one
Yeah,
episode.
you're binging
going to
that?
binge most of it.
Can you give me a synopsis?
Yeah, so high level, you think that it's about teenagers, kind of odd, quirky teenagers who they match up, but they're not friends, and they're going to go on some adventures, and through it all, they're going to fall in love.
Yeah, your
And
typical
have a happy
teenage
ever
drama,
ending,
right?
Right. Teenage angst,
Yeah.
things like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you think on a high level this is about. And to a high level, it is.
Okay.
Okay? But what it really is about, it's about childhood trauma
Really?
and not dealing with childhood trauma and what happens to you when trauma goes either
like unchecked?
unchecked or unhandled properly. And then it also goes into trauma that happens to you in the here and now, and how do you process that trauma?
And how it's kind of, how you view it is related to how you've dealt with trauma in the past, I assume. Yeah.
So it's far more into that, and all the characters that are involved. Trauma is just it's a big part of their being. And the whole thing takes place of how you're processing all the different traumas that are happening to you, either previously or in the here and now, that led you from getting together to falling in love to happy ever after at the very end.
Right.
So just a quick overview. So the boy named James thinks he's a psychopath, right? So and to go from Dahmer, right? He's one of those same ones who he, as a young kid, saw his mom commit suicide right in front of him.
Right.
He ends up, doing the whole thing where he starts murdering animals,
Okay, so like doing the serial killer
right.
trajectory.
and he wants to then move up to a person.
Naturally.
You have a girl, Alyssa, who is one of these girls who hates mainstream, just
Yeah, like, punk culture.
right,
Anarchist.
exactly.
Yep.
And so she sees him, he sees her.
Yeah.
Right.
Love at first sight.
No.
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 Oh.
So the thing is, she's like, hey, he's not like all the other guys. I'm going to befriend him, and who knows? Maybe, maybe we could become friends, hang out. Maybe he's the guy, right? He's looking at her like,
I'm going to kill this.
I'm going to kill that girl.
Okay.
And so they take off together, right? They leave. They go on to the hijinks that, again, high level. They're going to go and
Do their
create all
team-
these.
right.
And they do. And all the while, he's thinking about killing her up until the point where,
He falls in love with her.
well, so he ends up saving her from a rapist
Oh, wow.
and kills him.
Okay, so he gets it out of his system.
Right, and realizes that's not me. I'm not
Right,
a
that-
psychopath.
all right, so it's
I'm
not my
a
bag.
killer.
Right.
But I do love this girl, right? And so then you can see that they're starting to, but now they're murderers going on the run because
They killed this guy.
they killed this guy, right?
Interesting.
And then, so the first half is about them on the run as murder suspects. And then the second half of the show, season 2, is all about they kind of went their separate ways but came back together. But the girlfriend, or who thought she was the girlfriend of the guy that dies, is now wanting to kill them.
Okay, so they're getting hunted now.
Right.
Okay.
So it's again, it's all about trauma. It's all about all the different traumas that you could go through that make you kind of feel like you're a social outcast, or why you don't accept mainstream, or how poor your childhood upbringing is, so that kind of you turn into something that, because you were kind of browbeaten by overly strict parents, you kind of rebel against that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's
All
some
the
of the teenage story, but you actually dive into, what makes the character the character.
Right. So at the end, it ends like you think it's going to end,
Okay.
but the ride to get there,
Right. The journey is worth
the
worth
journey
it.
is absolutely worth taking that roller coaster.
And it is tight. I mean,
Yeah.
20-minute episodes. Yeah, all right. I'll give that a shot.
I highly recommend watching it.
So, I don't know if you've heard of, what the hell is the name of it? The Ricky Gervais one? I know you don't really care for him.
No.
But he has this one called, what the heck is it called? I think it's maybe Life or something. Let me see if I can pull it real quick. Because
This is a Ricky Gervais movie.
it's a show on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it's Afterlife, it's called.
Afterlife. Okay.
And it's over. It's finished. Basically, it's about a guy whose wife dies from cancer.
Okay.
And it shuts him down, pretty much. And it kind of unpacks all the trauma of dealing with
all
that. And, he's basically running through life saying whatever he wants to say to whoever, no filter.
I remember that now that you're saying it. I didn't see it, but I remember it.
So I watched it.
Okay.
It is phenomenal.
Is it?
Oh, it just rips you. Like, it's just an emotional roller coaster.
Nice.
For sure. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you're doing trauma stuff, it might be worth
definitely.
worth a watch. And I'm not usually a huge fan of him. I think,
Yeah.
he's definitely got his style. But this this hits, because it is. There's that layer of unpacking trauma, going through the death of a loved one, and kind of
And not, again, these shows are not really processing trauma correctly in most cases.
right.
And then what does that do to you as you're growing up? How does that affect your everyday relationship with anybody, friends, loved ones, whomever? And it does, it takes its toll, and to watch that unfold, and then not that it comes to any type of satisfactory conclusion about it, because obviously it's still there, but I think that
But being aware of it.
right, getting self-aware of it makes it one step closer to being able to deal with it
when
properly.
you can see the monster,
Right.
it makes it easier than
Exactly.
fighting in the dark.
Right.
And I think it's important.
It is.
I think if we're gonna do Jeffrey Dahmer, I think it's important that we do stuff like this as well, because you have to be able to reflect on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
for sure.
You're eating people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just out of curiosity, because I watched a few.
All right.
So I watched one called The Invitation.
Oh, okay.
Not the 2018 Invitation, which is a great slow burn horror flick. This was recent.
Oh, okay. A recent one.
Yeah.
All right.
And basically, it started off very strong.
Okay.
A little campy, but
Yeah.
basically, this girl, this American girl, is living her life or whatever, poor, and she's working as a waitress at a rich people event. They steal like a bag that has a DNA test.
Okay.
So she does the DNA test and she gets the results back, and it turns out that she's related to this old family in England, right? So they, their representative comes and finds her and says, somebody died, or somebody's getting married, I should say. Come on over, meet your family, right?
Yeah.
So she goes, and everything's like it's fairy tale, right? It's big houses and all the bullshit. And there's something off.
Right.
Right? And so something is eating the wait staff, basically going through at night and eating the wait staff. And so,
as it does.
Right. So I'm in it.
Yeah.
Right? It's camp.
Sure.
But I'm like, all right, this is good. I like a little camp. It ends up devolving into like, I guess like Dracula. Oh, it's out of this fucking, like, up until the end. You lost me at the end.
Okay.
But just what a fucking.
So it's a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I would say give it a watch, but
I remember seeing the previews for this.
just be aware that it does not finish strong.
Okay.
But it's a fun ride.
Yeah. All right.
So I caught that.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
I'm working my way through the Midnight Club.
Oh, you know what? I just came across that, so I haven't seen it.
Do you
but-
like Mike Flanagan?
who?
Apparently not. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
So he did like The Haunting of Hill House
Oh,
and The
okay.
Haunting
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Bly
yeah.
Manor, and he did Midnight Mass, which I'm going to tell you something right now. I fucking loved Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's I know it's divisive. Like
Yeah.
people hate it or love
Right,
it, but
right.
it worked for me.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I did not.
It's
I know of it, but
it's
I
good.
did not see
It's
it.
good. It's slow burn, but it's
Yeah.
good. This is good. It's
This is a vampire show as well, correct?
no.
It's not?
I don't think
okay.
so.
I thought it was.
No, it's so basically the gist of it is these 8 terminally ill kids go to a hospice.
Okay.
Right? And they tell ghost stories, basically. So you get kind of an anthology part of it, and then there's just an overarching kind of story as
Okay.
well. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, and it's very Mike Flanagan. So like again, if you've seen Haunting of Hill House and all that
Yeah.
type of stuff, it's got that stamp on
Okay.
it, you
All
know.
right.
But it's very good. It's very good. I mean, it's got its jump scares and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I was looking at that because it's got a lot of good reviews.
it's good. It's very good. And I mean, it's such an interesting. The reason I like him is, I liked Hill House, but that's kind of a layup.
Yeah.
Because it's Hill House, right?
Right.
Bly Manor, I thought was more of a. Did you see Bly Manor?
No. Hill House is the only one I've actually seen. Yeah.
Bly Manor is sad.
Is it?
Yeah, like I know that wasn't like the vibe that people were going with, but it really is. And I was like, this guy is interesting. And then I watched Midnight Mass, and I was like, oh, this is my, I love Robert Eggers. He's one of my dudes. Flanagan's one of my guys. Like I'll watch it if he
Okay.
puts it out. And this is like just an interesting kids dealing with their own mortality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's deep, heavy.
Sure. But I mean, again, and you don't die tomorrow. You have to live with,
Right.
it's the slow death sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's-
although you're gonna be witnessing.
Right. And
Some
they
of these
kind of
kids dying
Right.
in
And they
front of
kind
you,
of,
so.
they kind of cover a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think that's kind of an interesting sort of topic, and
Yeah.
and your characters are doomed, right?
Right.
Which I kind of like
Yeah,
that sort of. So I would say give it a watch.
Sure.
If
yeah.
you're into it.
I'm going to check that out.
Not all the stories are, some of them are hit or miss. But
Right.
I'll tell you, I watched one last night. It was the best. By
yeah.
far. Yeah.
Good.
So I got one more episode, and we'll close that one out.
Okay.
But I'm enjoying that. And then I also
Excellent.
watched Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did you catch it?
I would say Werewolf by Night is the best thing in Phase 4.
By far.
By far. And I'm going to say that it might be one of the best
Marvel, yeah.
productions,
Absolutely.
period.
Now, don't get me wrong. It is very much a, vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as you can be right with the fact that it's a vibe, I think you'll love it.
Yes.
I got to tell you, I was sold from the beginning.
Yeah.
And they leaned. I was watching it and I was like, almost R.
Right.
Almost.
Almost.
Not quite. So I'm wondering, is that what I would have liked to have seen them go further.
Right. Right. So I found this out.
Yeah.
And which I found interesting.
Okay.
And
It's rating great.
yes. Oh, yes. So obviously it's in black and white.
Yeah.
And it lends to that old 1930s
Yeah,
Universal
monsters.
Right. But when rating for violence,
Yeah, you can't do it in color
you
because of the
can't
blood.
do red blood.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
That's
so-
in video games too.
Right. So if that makes me think that anything in this monster universe that Marvel wants to put
Just
out,
do green blood, or whatever.
well, either do a different color blood or just do it black and white at the time, like maybe you're killing, right? So kind of like make it everything at night,
Yeah.
so you can kind of limit the amount of red blood
Yeah, but
that
you
you
could
see.
listen. The vampires could have black blood. Nobody's going to give a shit about that.
Well, I don't think vampires are, necessarily a concern, but I'm just saying in general, if you want to make it even more violent, like say even Deadpool, right? If you want to make it even, find a way to make it without the red blood count being so high
Which
that it
is
goes to R.
It's so bizarre to me because, arguably, it was incredibly violent.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was a lot of bloodshed.
There was a lot of action death.
Yeah,
too.
you got swords to the head, you got
Decapitation.
arm. Yeah, I mean there was violence that on a level you have never seen
Not
in
from
Marvel before.
And I was sold.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
but again, it comes back to the thing that I've been saying for months and years. Give me something for the fucking adults.
Right, and this is exactly what this was. This was for the adults.
I will say it was a little short.
Well, yeah.
It was
yeah.
a little short. I would have liked to have seen it, paced out a little better.
Yeah.
Love Man Thing.
But I don't think they knew what they had. Like, I don't think...
I don't know how.
Because this wasn't... Although Kevin Feige certainly oversaw it, I don't think this was a Kevin Feige project.
Didn't feel like it.
No. So I don't know that Kevin Feige really knew what was going to go on, so he probably put a shorter limit on it to
Yeah.
make so that if it went off the rails, it was only going to be an hour or a little under. And then it didn't have to be interconnected. But now it absolutely has to be interconnected.
I mean, come on. Man Thing stealing
Man
the show.
Thing was phenomenal.
Everything you want out of Man Thing.
Yeah.
Everything you want. And he looked great.
Yeah.
There was a
Looked
great
great.
use of practical effects at the
Yeah.
end when they're sitting having the tea, the
that was
coffee.
awesome.
The werewolf was not great.
No.
The budget went to Man Thing, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, but it was good enough, and you can make it better if if you're gonna sink some money into this project, you can certainly better the werewolf.
But tell me you didn't, all the characters were great.
they were
It was just
Elsa
good.
Bloodstone,
Awesome.
But now you've got some strong potential for Midnight Suns based upon what came out of this.
Yeah, but only if you lean into the the violence.
Yes. Well, that's the only way you're going to do it. But this showed you how to do it. This showed you can do it and get away with it.
I think they need to just accept that a lot of the fans are good with Man-Thing eviscerating people.
Oh, I would hope so.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think you need to worry about whether it's R or not. Honestly, I really don't.
I do. I think
Why?
Because I don't think you can do it without it being R.
No, I'm saying, like,
I think you have to get right with that.
I agree. My point to it is I don't think you have to worry about if people are going to turn up or not.
Oh, they're going to turn up.
Obvious.
They're going to turn up. They're going to turn up.
It's in black and white,
droves.
right? So you get the loophole.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an R-rated flick.
Oh yeah.
And it's the best thing that's come out of Marvel in
best.
years.
It's not even close.
No, it's not even close.
And then you.
But I've been screaming from the rooftops that it's cool if you want to do Avengers and that's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I need something. You're not gonna. I don't care. I don't care about any of this shit. I don't care about Thor running around.
No,
I don't care anymore.
No.
I'm good.
Give me the monster
Want,
universe.
give me an R Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
give me an R Blade. Give me an R Deadpool. I want that shit. I liked Logan. I want those stories to have a place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They
and there clearly is.
There is a place, and Werewolf by and we're not alone in saying that Werewolf by Night is the best thing that's come out of Phase 4,
that.
Right? And one of the best ever. Everybody's saying that. That's a universal opinion. So, at this point,
it was vindicating for me because I'm just sitting here going, all right, I'm not just this like lunatic that's like I want everything to be gritty. No, there's no balance when everything is just a fucking joke.
Well, I mean, then a couple days later you drop the finale for She-Hulk, and it's like, boy, you can now. Do you want to know why She-Hulk rated the absolute worst Disney Plus show that you've done so far? Look at that and compare it to Werewolf by Night, and She-Hulk is in the same vein as Thor: Love and Thunder, which bombed.
Not even just that, though. I mean, it's
the
true.
The comedy element
not even
is
just
not
that,
what
though.
people want.
You had comedy in Werewolf by Night. Man-Thing had funny moments.
I mean, again, I'm not saying take out the comedy completely.
No,
I'm saying,
but
comedy
look at
should be a small segment of the show,
right.
not
it's a spice.
what the show is all about.
It's a spice to the dish.
Yeah, that's all it should be at this point.
I mean, the main character in Werewolf by Night is a woman.
Yeah.
And I was about her. She was fucking rad, dude.
Oh,
she was out there beating the shit out of people.
Yeah.
You and I sat down and tried to get through She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Oh, and the finale just landed so poorly.
Here's the thing. I had mentioned this to Paul a little bit, but what I think is interesting is a lot of these shows are coming out before episode 1 of She-Hulk aired, before episode 1 of The Rings of Power aired. They come out and they go, we're here, this is ours, get used to it. You come out swinging.
Well, this is the problem, and this is a thing that Hollywood has now done, and it's the same approach with the movie Bros. It's the same approach that a lot of these new properties are taking. They are attacking you, and again, they're not attacking the fans because we're not fans yet. They're attacking the populace to say, if you don't accept this for what it is, they're going to label you in all these different categories, and then ultimately a lot of people are saying, okay, well, if you're going to put me in those categories and you're going to tell me that it's not for me, I'm not going to go see it. And then when the show bombs, then they come back and they re-insult you by saying, oh, you're in this category. And it's like, just accept the fact that this is not what it is anymore. Put your show out, and if it's good, it'll be seen. And if it's not, you take the L and you move on. But to pre-attack us and tell us it's not for us, or this isn't what you're going to expect, or if you think it's going to be this, then don't come see it. People are saying, okay, I'm not going to come see it.
Here's the thing, is that even with like She-Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a superhero.
Yeah.
And you're marginalizing people.
Yeah.
Which is not what a fucking superhero does.
No.
So I don't get it.
No.
Because
me neither.
Because She-Hulk came out swinging and it tanked.
Tanked. Big time.
Lord of the Rings spent money.
Oh, big money.
On marketing.
Yeah.
And lied about the reviews for a while. And then people are watching it and going, the fuck is this?
Yeah. It is one
it's
of the
tanking.
Yeah. It is one of the most hated shows going at the moment.
Right. And now you have Scooby-Doo.
Which, here again, is doing the same thing.
Did you see the trailer?
Yes.
I watched the trailer, right? And I'm just going like, because you and I really like Harley Quinn.
Right.
Right? The Harley Quinn show.
It.
It's
love
so
it.
good.
It's
and
tremendous.
they kind of tease, by like the middle of season 1, I think they were getting some backlash by the misogynists, right? And they kind of tease a little bit, and they're just like, oh, you know. And I was like, that's pretty funny because I'm watching the show and I like it. Mm-hmm. They didn't come out of the gate with that, though.
No.
And I watched the trailer, right? And it's not that I didn't, like, feel personally attacked, but I was just like, this is weirdly hostile.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like, for no fucking I couldn't put my...
Other than to insulate yourself for what ultimately is probably going to be failure, and then you're going to use that as your reasoning behind why it didn't do well, because of all the male chauvinists and all the misogynists and all the...
Yeah, it worked in the past, so we should never change anything. And it's like, no one is saying that.
Look, if you want to make Velma a self-insert, you changed her to your nationality,
it's just you. It's just
that's you. And this is your story using the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. characters. If you tell a good story, okay, whatever. I can deal with that. But for you to just absolutely start attacking everybody before the thing even comes out, pre-attack to make sure that if it fails, you're going to use that as your reasoning opposed to because you put out a shitty show.
It's just so weird to out of the gate.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen a real trailer.
No.
And it's like you said, you know what? I'm going to take the teaser and just come out guns blazing.
Right.
And it's like I was like, cool. Like when I heard you were making an adult version of Scooby-Doo, I'm like, great. I love gritty shit. Like I'm about it. I didn't care that she was brown. Like none of it mattered.
No, that doesn't matter.
None of it mattered until I saw the trailer, and I was like, this is weirdly hostile.
Right, and you've turned off so many people now that will absolutely refuse to give it a chance.
Yeah, why is it so hostile? Why are you so hostile?
Now you're going to get mad at those people for not watching it.
Right.
Well, you told them to not watch it.
We talked about this a little with Bros, right?
Right.
So I watched the trailer, and the first half of the trailer was really funny.
Yeah, it was fine.
And the second half of the trailer was rom-com, and I was like, I don't fucking like rom-coms.
Right.
So, like, that's not for me. Gay or straight, I don't like rom-coms.
Right. Again, you pigeonholed it so badly. Hey, it's a rom-com. Okay. Then everybody that hates rom-coms checked out. And then it's all gay male, and anybody that has a problem with not wanting to see gay males on TV because it's not your thing, checked out. So what? And then the gay population.
Yeah, but like I would argue that like people that hate rom-coms generally, like that's I think there's a lot of overlap with that.
No, there could be. But then the gay population said that's so stereotypical. And that's not even representative. And they checked out.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I heard it was good, and the thing is I'm
See,
sure.
I didn't hear it was good at all. I heard it sucked.
I heard it was pretty good. I heard that the humor was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
okay.
But again, that's not a movie for me.
No, it's not a movie for me either. But again, you made it where you didn't make it for everybody, and you told everybody it's not for everybody. So the people that it's not for didn't bother giving it a chance. So you got what you got, which is an absolute dumpster fire failure, and that's on you. That's for you. You should just put it out and let it play out, and whoever went.
Yeah.
And if they enjoyed it, fine. If they didn't, fine.
So I think I have noticed that when you come out and treat the audience like an enemy, it's not a good show.
No.
Or a movie or whatever, and it's just you know it's not.
Right.
And it's just your way of coping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did you see what Kevin Smith had to say the other day?
No.
I'm so not a Kevin Smith guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith, this guy is the biggest corporate fucking shill there is, okay? Came out and said, "Oh, I'll never make a Marvel or Star Wars movie because, the backlash that I got from He-Man, from the fan base, that's just, so toxic that I'm not going to do that. No one's making Kevin Smith's movies, so I guess I'm gonna." Who are you fooling? You piece of shit. You would get on that fucking in a second
Yeah,
if they
if
called
someone
you.
offered you Star Wars.
You're not there. How many Marvel and Star Wars movies are there that people like? It's you can't do it because you suck, and you'd put out a fucking woke piece of shit disaster.
I just think Kevin Smith, we kind of see this with directors, right? I think Kevin Smith has some good work.
I'm not saying that he had movies that were good at a time.
I just think that
But Clerks 3 is an absolute failure.
Oh, is it out?
It's out and gone.
Oh, I didn't know it came
flopped.
out. It flopped.
He's on he right now is on a tour
Yeah.
where he's going to amphitheaters or colleges.
Yeah.
And he's doing a Q&A before the movie to help sell tickets because this thing was such a disaster. It is hated. And so he's doing everything he can to try to prop it up, but it's not working. No one gives a shit.
But is it just because, here's the thing is that I think I struggle, right? Because I like Sam Raimi. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the formula works now.
No.
Like we were talking about the Munsters, right?
Right.
And we were talking about how you can't really remake it because when you look at it through today's lens, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
I don't think Sam Raimi shit really works today.
No.
I honestly don't. And I love Sam. This is not me saying anything bad about Sam Raimi. I just think it's very hard that was of a time.
Right.
And I think Kevin Smith had his time.
Yes.
And that's it. You're not. I think some of his work is great. I think Dogma's good shit.
It's excellent.
But I think, Tarantino said he's making 10 movies and he's done. Because, he knows.
Right.
You got it out of you, and it doesn't seem like you're able to,
No.
Capture the lightning again.
Right. I mean, all your greats eventually stop being great. I mean, it doesn't happen
even
forever.
the big boys. Spielberg is still releasing shit, but
Yeah, he's not, but they're not the hits.
No, not like it was.
It's not, iconic hits that are going to live forever.
No.
These are movies that will come and go now, and they'll have their moderate success. But when you think of but the movies he's making nowadays, when you look back on his career, these aren't the movies you're ever going to be talking about.
No, I think with Clerks, I think the Clerks humor is circa early 2000s.
Yeah.
In mid 2000s, and we're not there anymore.
No. No, it doesn't
you
work.
can
It doesn't work the same. And
Right.
if you were hoping for a nostalgia bump, and it wasn't going to happen
Right,
because,
but because
it wasn't
we're all-
anything that people wanted.
But you can only push the like. Here's the thing: is you can hit people with nostalgia, but you can only push the button so many times
Right.
before people are like, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
it wasn't that good,
yeah.
you know.
And the problem is that
We're getting Star Wars, we're getting all of this,
Yeah.
shit from the past, and it's like Clerks 3.
well, but again, when you have divided. What used to be your fan base is no longer the same fan base that you used to have because a lot of them have jumped ship.
Right.
So the support you had and the goodwill that you had, it doesn't exist like it did anymore.
No, and I get it. He's evolved as a person, right?
Right.
Like this is him now, and
Yeah.
This is not me coming at Kevin Smith. He's doing his own thing.
Sure.
But I just think, to expect your old audience to evolve with you is a huge ask.
Yeah, but don't sit there and tell me that if Kevin Feige came a calling for
You
you to
wouldn't do
produce a Marvel movie that you wouldn't jump at the opportunity. You who had a friggin' show, The Comic Book Men, this is what you're all about.
Man, you
and they're
love
gonna
this
give you a
shit.
chance to produce a Marvel movie and you're going to say no because the fan base? Why? The fan base, there's how many Marvel movies do the fans absolutely love?
Right, and you know what? You've taken it on the chin with He-Man. So
Right.
what? You're gonna say no?
Well, the difference would be, you came out and said you're not a He-Man fan. He-Man meant nothing to you. So destroying the mythos of He-Man wasn't meaningful to you because it didn't have any impact to you. You're a Marvel guy, though. So wouldn't you put more effort into Marvel? Wouldn't you actually produce a movie that, as a true fan, that you would think other fans would love? Unlike He-Man, which you didn't care
yeah,
about.
but they're getting more He-Man, right?
Supposedly, there's going to be a second season.
Right.
You know,
So I mean,
So we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting, and it's just weird that that's kind of been. I've always been of the opinion that when you put your art out into the world, it's not yours anymore.
Sure.
It's everyone's.
Yeah.
And it's weird that these creatives and these creators are kind of coming at people and just being like, if you don't like it, you're wrong.
Right. But the thing about it is, when you say that, and every project almost that has done this almost entirely have failed. And my thing is, well, if it's not for the people that you say it's not for, and the people that you say it is for aren't supporting it, then who is it actually for? And so it's like, why don't you just make a movie for everyone and let the chips fall where they may? And if it doesn't succeed, it's because you made a bad movie. But don't sit there and have to call out certain sects of the populace and say, well, if you don't like that it's a female-led movie, then this isn't for you, and you're a misogynist if you don't support it. It's like,
Yeah, but I liked Werewolf by Night.
yeah, but just make a good movie. And
I liked Wonder Woman.
yeah, the people will be there in support if you make it something worth watching. If you don't, then it's going to flop. But you can't sit there and start and cast dispersions on people as the reason why.
Right.
Because the people that you made it for don't like it either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think She-Hulk, what is it, like 3.9 or something?
3.6, I think
Wow.
it was that it finished on. So
Was there any reveal or anything?
yeah. So you know who the big bad of it was?
No.
Kevin.
Who's Kevin?
Oh, he runs Marvel.
Oh, he was the big bad?
Yeah. No. So a computer,
Yeah.
like a robotic camera
Yeah.
named Kevin,
Okay.
who has, like LEDs in the front and a brim that looks like a baseball hat. So you made Kevin Feige the big bad of She-Hulk.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's cool because that's the fourth wall break-in. Really, this was so, groundbreaking stuff here. She stepped out of she did the fourth wall break-in where she stepped out onto the Disney platform, went to the Disney writer room. The writers were there, and she wants to know who's doing what, and yeah, it's Kevin.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is well, he is the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, so if that's what you were hoping for, if that's what you wanted...
That's like the one note that hit right, is that he is the villain of Marvel right now.
True. Yeah, I mean,
It's more meta than they even wanted it to be.
I mean, they had, Charlie Cox came back out.
Great.
Hulk came back.
Great.
Brought his son back, so they introduced his son, Scar.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, I said this to you a while back. Like, I don't. There are very few Hulk stories that I think you could tell.
Yeah.
That like.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna tell Planet Hulks.
Are you? Like, wasn't that
maybe?
Like, you kind of cover that in.
Yeah, I mean, you might, but that's it. I mean, there's really
right. There's not too many Hulk stories that you're gonna get a full anything out of.
I mean, I think to be perfectly honest, I think we've done enough with the character. I think we can move on.
Well, it's a shame about She-Hulk because I was really excited for that.
Everybody was excited because unlike some of these other characters that they're trying to force, She-Hulk was not one of them.
No.
She-Hulk is loved. Everybody wanted She-Hulk and wanted it to succeed because She-Hulk is one of those female characters that everyone loves and wanted this so badly. And what we got was an absolute travesty.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, she's going to be in Daredevil.
Sure.
And I think if they don't lean into the darkness, which they're not, it's going to tank.
Yeah,
and
they're not.
They have everyone coming back.
Yeah, no. Matt Murdock came back because they had a picnic at the end,
Yeah, that's what I want to see
Matt Murdock was
do.
there,
I
so
want to see him
yeah.
have a picnic.
Yeah, you want him barbecuing with Jennifer Walters and the Hulk and now Hulk's son.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted. That's the happy ending that we wanted. We want Matt Murdock to be hanging out, let's go down to Venice Beach and go surfing. That's what you want with Daredevil. And then he'll go back and, he'll be skipping rope down Hell's Kitchen.
I don't know what is he really just going to be cracking jokes? Like, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be because that's what every Marvel character does.
But,
so that's all it'll be.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing. She-Hulk 3.6.
Mm-hmm.
Werewolf by Night 8.1.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin.
Yeah.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, the fans are telling you what they want, but but here again, you're telling us what we want as opposed to listening to what the fans actually want. And you're telling us we're wrong. You're telling us, no. Werewolf by Night, that was fine. But She-Hulk, that's the way to go. Yeah, but the numbers don't bear that out. Yeah, I get that, but I'm telling you, you're wrong because I'm Kevin Feige and you're a piece of shit, and I'm telling you, you're wrong.
There's no way that after, like, here's the thing, is that She-Hulk is over now, right? Like, season 1 is done in the books. I would be surprised if it got another season.
Yeah, me too.
Werewolf by Night is out. So people have seen what the offerings are.
Right.
And the reviews are in.
Right.
So you're telling me that on Monday morning, right? Because when did She-Hulk drop?
Well, it would be today, let's say.
She-Hulk dropped today?
Last night.
No, I'm saying, no, because you need the weekend for shit to, like, finish.
So this upcoming Monday
morning.
Right,
I'm saying Monday morning when they get into their fucking meeting, right? There is no way that he's going to, like, he has to readjust now.
Yeah.
Like, you have to say, okay, look, who knew? Who knew Werewolf by Night? And it's like, right, but this is what we want. Nobody wants the kiddie shit that you're peddling anymore. And it's been a weird fucking, Alan Moore's coming out against shit right now, and
he
you know,
has for a while.
Yeah,
put that wizard back in the closet.
he needs to, because it's like, dude, you built your fucking career off of this shit.
Come
Like,
on, stop
don't.
that.
You're not allowed to do that.
No.
But it's just, it's bizarre to me, because it's like you have the number. Like, and again, I've been screaming it for years, right? Before Joker came out, I'm like, oh, I really want some gritty ass shit, right? Joker came out, it killed, right? The Batman came out, probably the darkest Batman movie ever.
Yeah, for sure.
It killed.
Yep.
It's almost like and I've said this, your audience has grown. Like, Marvel has been out for 10 years, 15 years, or whatever. You have had a set of audience members go from 10 or 15 to 25 or 30 now.
Yeah.
They want more adult content.
I just don't know where he came up with the idea that this is what we want. Like this Phase 4 and all the comedy. Where did he come up with it?
I'm okay with there being some characters that are light.
Sure.
I'm not saying like
there should be a healthy mix of all of it.
The Mummy remake didn't work, right?
No.
Because it was too dark.
Right.
So I'm not sitting here going every single thing needs to be pitch black. No. Blade needs to be rated R. Ghost Rider needs to be rated R. Moon Knight needs to be rated R. Werewolf by Night needs to be rated R. You have rated R characters. Daredevil needs to be rated R. Punisher needs to be rated R. You have R characters. Yeah. You have PG-13 characters. You have G character. Groot, G. Groot's G. You know.
I mean, look at The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Right? If The Walking Dead has some light and some comedy strewn about, but for the most part, it's bleak because that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's what Werewolf by Night was.
Right. If you didn't do it that way, you'd never have it would not have succeeded. People would have rejected that immediately. It's okay that if you want to add a little bit of comedy, if you want to lighten it up some, and you want to make it so that it, whatever, if you think it's family friendly, fine, you can do that. But this isn't slapstick. Why the hell is friggin' Daredevil sitting around smiling, having the time of his life, out having friggin' barbecues, laughing, and I'm not saying he can't hook up with women, that's fine. I'm just saying.
No, but he's never been. He's never a sunshine. He's never been a sunshine and rainbows character.
Why did we have to do that to him? Why couldn't he just have appeared, be the Daredevil from the Netflix show for one episode, and then move on to his own? Why did we have to give him?
But that's what he was in
wholesale change.
That's what he was in No Way Home. He was the Daredevil from the Netflix show.
Yeah,
you got that vibe.
Sure. You did. I mean, again,
I didn't get that vibe from at all.
No,
from his
no, he's
scenes.
Sitting there smiling his ass off,
making jokes.
Yeah,
even his posture, everything.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if you wanted to,
they got on antidepressants.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that as Matt Murdock, and that's how you make it so that he's so totally different, you can't put two and two together. Fine. If you want to make him lighthearted as Matt Murdock, and then he's serious as hell when he's Daredevil, do that. But sitting there smiling, having a grand old time, sitting on the edge of the building where they're just telling each other stories, like, who is that guy? I don't want that guy at all.
It's bizarre. And I think what my only concern is that they're going to look at Werewolf by Night and be like, well, people like the horror stuff to be hard. And it's like, no. It doesn't matter. You have R-rated characters. Use them in R-rated scenarios.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that maybe the pushback of the Blade movie is to reassess what they were going to do with that movie, because quite possibly, I don't know the reasoning why the director left, but
but I mean, if I'm a director, right, and I like Blade, and I want to make a Blade flick, and then Feige comes in and he goes, okay, but no killing, you can't really show any violence, no swearing. What are we gonna do then?
Yeah, Yeah. So what do? We point at the vampire and tell him to please stop, and
Right,
they
right.
do. And
We're
then
gonna
they
make
say,
them.
Sorry,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna make
I'm
them an
out.
anti-hero.
Yeah, the usual. Again, I get the language part of it, but not the violence part of it. Like, give me the violence. If you want to make it, and even when Deadpool finally shows up, if you're going to say, look, we're not going to have that type of language on our movies. Like,
Right.
we can go R, but it's only going to be for violence. It's not going to be for language. I'm fine with that. Fine. I can handle that.
Well, it's a compromise
okay.
in any case.
Right. But don't give me none of it.
Right, but I think if nothing else, we now have a clear indication that what people want to see is more mature content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying eliminate all of the lighthearted shit,
Right.
but just include it in the conversation.
Yeah.
And stop attacking your audience.
Right. Oh, you have to. Hollywood, if Hollywood does nothing else, learn from all these failures that are doing this and make it an edict to stop doing it, or you're not going to get your show
people
put
don't
out.
listen to our podcast, it's our fault.
Right.
Not their fault.
Exactly. And, again, this is for everybody, and it may not be for you, but it's okay. You make that choice.
Right.
We're not making it for you.
And I'm
that
not
it's
saying
not for
that
you.
if it's not for you, you're wrong.
Right. Exactly. It's fine. Not everybody has to like everything, and you're not a bad person for not liking everything.
Yeah. Well, you might be a bad person if you dress up like Jeffrey Dahmer
That's
for Halloween.
true. Very true.
right.
Don't do that.
Let's put this one to bed. Yeah, don't do that. We'll put this one to bed. Jim, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Still just working on issue 2 of Eva. Got issue 1
I'm
out.
itching. I'm itching
Webtoons,
to...
just working hard on getting that, and I'm gonna do what we can to get it out as soon as possible.
All right. So that's it. Episode 23, you guys. CatalystCrafting.com is the main website. The Etsy store is Catalyst Creations NH. Coming up on our 600th order. So,
Nice.
Yeah. We're on all the other social platforms, and, make sure you like and subscribe and share this with everybody so we can keep doing these. Keep growing and everything. But, you guys let me know. Did you catch Werewolf by Night? What did you think of it? Are you excited about Velma? Is it weird that Scoob's not going to be in it? I don't know. I mean, is it good to attack your audience? Because let me know, because I want to, if you guys want me to, shame you.
That's what you need.
Yeah, whatever it takes. All right, crew. I'll catch you on the next one.